This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the search is on for a missing Grand Bahama man, and tonight his closest relative, his mother, is sending out a public appeal for help. Joan Davis Roll reports.
Everybody been calling and trying to find out if we find him yet, but it ain't easy.
It is a mother's worst nightmare, and for weeks now, Mavis Cooper has been praying for this nightmare to be over. Her son, 33-year-old Emmett Collins, is missing.
I haven't seen him for 3 weeks. The last time was on the 10th of February. I visited him in the morning. I was going to Bimini, took some food, which I always do. He was living and flying fish with his friend Chio, the newspaper guy, which I will go in the morning before I left to go to work, take breakfast. And some food in the evening. I was still with my daughter, Quisha, my grandson, Sanchez. But when I came back on that Tuesday, which was Valentine's Day, he wasn't there.
Cooper says an official missing persons report has been filed with the police here on Grand Bahama. Emmett, who's described as 6 feet tall and having dark brown complexion, lives in the Freeport area known as Cowbell Beach.
They told us that he had been to High Rock. So I haven't personally seen him. A lot of people told me they saw Emmett, but I really concerned.
She, along with others, have been canvassing various areas in search of her son. This mother of 4 says she's distraught for more reasons than one. Some persons, she stated, may not be aware that Emmett has some challenges.
He is schizophrenia, mental, retarded. Emmett, I love you. Wherever you are, you may be alone, probably in the bushes, but I pray that you're alive because I would like to see you again. We all would love to see you again.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the Royal Bank of Canada will be pulling out of Bimini in a couple of weeks. RBC is the only lending institution on that northern island, and the pending closure is devastating news for residents and business owners alike. Italia Hall has the story.
On March 2nd, Royal Bank of Canada Caribbean Banking announced that RBC will merge 4 branches in the Bahamas. The release stated that the decision comes as consumer preferences continue to evolve. In the northern Bahamas, RBC's branch in Treasure Key will merge with the branch in Marsh Harbor next month. This transition will also include the closure of RBC in Bimini come May. The Bimini Bank will merge with RBC's branch in Freeport. Now, this transition has been a disappointment for some residents in Bimini. Some took to Facebook to express their dissatisfaction. One status read, "Stop the closure of RBC Bimini." A petition has been mounted, Biminites Against Bank Closure, on www.change.org, which has a total of 221 supporters. The supporters are asking RBC to reconsider this move. Chief Counsellor Robbie Smith is adding his voice to the petition. He says the closure of RBC in Bimini will leave locals and tourists alike with no banking institution on the northern island.
The residents, when I would say upset, they really upset and feel like it's a slap in the face to know that Royal Bank, which been in Bimini now, I would say, well, I've been banking with them for over 40 years, and they feel that they treat them like they ain't nothing. I mean, the residents there, and it's going to be difficult for a lot of the elderly people that on pension that doesn't have an ATM card.
He adds that the bank closure will impact hundreds of employees.
Big Game, the owners of Big Game, they're from California, and if they have to they wire transfer whatever to the bank, so they won't be wire transferring no cash to bank here because it's either gonna have to go to Nassau, Freeport, to so it's gonna make it difficult for the whole island.
The chief counselor says a group of Biminites will meet with the bank's CEO on Wednesday to discuss their concerns and RBC's future plans. Meantime, he's making a general appeal to other banks in the country.
Hope that either Bank of the Bahamas or Commonwealth, any other bank, Bimini definitely need a bank because of the amount of people that are employed in Bimini. It's difficult, and most everybody get paid through the bank.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
For the second consecutive day, residents waited in long lines to receive their voter's card. For these eligible voters, casting their ballot on election is a democratic right that they are not prepared to give up. Now, as you will hear in this report, these card-bearing residents are now waiting for the proverbial bell to ring.
My voter's card, take a voter's card and I'm ready.
Registered voters on Grand Bahama are excited about collecting their voter's card. Officials say over 500 persons lined up at the post office on the first day to receive the document that will allow them to mark their X for the candidate of their choice. On day 2, the situation was no different, and many say that they are pleased with the collection process that is taking place at the local post office.
I don't care how long it is. I have to pick up my card. I came to pick it up. I already registered. I came to pick up.
When you get inside, you can find out that it's going to move very, very swiftly. They're going to take your tickets from you, or your passport, whatever you have, and they have everything in order. So it's going great.
They broadcast the time that we should be here, so I give myself, ample time that I could, be under no stress.
Well, so far it's been nice. No problem. It was smooth sailing.
I don't have no complaints. I stay all day. I just don't want my card.
We've been here a couple, about 10 to 12 minutes, something like that. We're just waiting on our card, getting ready to vote.
I thought it was going to be down the road, but it looks like it's here. Make it much easier for everybody.
And the line is moving fast. Just come get your card, come out and vote of your choice.
Well, I've only been in line for about 5 minutes, but it seems to be going along quite well, so I'm happy.
But this man says he was not impressed.
This ain't the place for people to be in outside. The people should be inside sitting down someplace. You can't stand up for no hour. Suppose someone is disabled. They're inconsiderate. But I'll speak to Mr. Smith. I'm sure Reno Smith will do something better next time.
Nonetheless, voters on Grand Bahama say they are ready for Election Day.
This is a hot one.
This is going to be my first election. I missed the last one. I was in college, so I'm happy to cast my vote this year.
I'm very excited. Yes, because I'm ready for this election to be called.
These residents are encouraging others who have not done so yet to register to vote and consider the future generations of this country.
But I have children, I have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, so I have to do something for them.
It is their democratic right to register to vote. Because if they don't vote and then they talk because the wrong people got in, they have no one to blame but themselves.
Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Reno Smith is also urging residents to register while there is still time. He says he is pleased with the collection process taking place on Grand Bahama.
The line is not long. No one will wait longer than 15 to 20 minutes. On election day, there will be another line. If they complain about this line, they will complain about election line. Nothing in life is easy, and it's worth waiting for. If you are a patriotic Bahamian, 15, 20 minutes in the line is nothing to complain about.
Switching gears now, a hotel property over in Abaco preparing for major renovations. The resort that has a strong reputation in the international market is hoping that this refurbishment will help to further enhance bookings in the months ahead. Natalia Hall reports.
Treasure Key Beach Marina and Golf Resort is one of the longest-standing family-owned resorts on the island of Abaco. The property, which has been in operation from 1980, is about to undergo major renovations. General Manager Stephen Kapler says work will begin sometime this month and 25% of the 94 rooms will be redesigned.
We're spending over $250,000 in all new furnishings, lighting, everything brand new in the units, and that's going to be finished for March. And we're in the process of also spending about $200,000 on our docks. We have 164 slips, again, one of the largest in all of the Bahamas. I happen to be president of the Association of the Bahamas Marinas, and so we're committed to the quality in the docks and what have you. We have 450 registered boats in our harbor.
The hotel employs some 110 persons. Kapler says on average the occupancy level is a little under 50%, but he's hoping that the renovations will help to change that.
Most of our staff have got tenure, I would say, that average more than 20 years, many in the 35 to 40 year length of service. which means they know our guests. Our guests come back year after year to come see our staff.
The Treasure Key Resort is now rated the #1 resort property on the well-known American travel review website, TripAdvisor. Resort manager Avis Miller is credited for much of the hotel's success, but Miller says good customer service is key.
I like them to feel comfortable once they get here, and I treat them the way I want to be treated when I travel. So you have to reach out to them and ask them what their needs are. Ask them every day if the room is good for them, if they need any assistance with anything, like maybe tours, going to Grand Cherokee, like on a dive trip, Manawaki, Hopetown, seeing different places.
And if you are wondering what's next for the hotel, well, the general manager says they will be exploring different markets and are looking into becoming a partial all-inclusive resort.
We're looking at this fall, possibly with some new flights that are coming into Nassau. Specifically, there's a Condor flight, which is a new flight that used to be here, was very successful. We're looking at adding all-inclusive to one of the programs. In fact, we're thinking of taking 25% of our units and dedicating them to an all-inclusive product, making it the first in the Out Islands, other than, of course, sandals. We are also looking at some base business from Italy that's very interested. And one of the greatest features of Treasure Key, as everybody knows, is we boast one of the best beaches in all of the country as Treasure Key Beach, a 3-mile, pristine, sugar white, powder soft beach.
It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there is more news right after this.